Okay, super, super excited. First and foremost, I want to kind of ask you guys, or you ladies, since I have all ladies on here right now, is how did your time management buckets training go with you, and then also taking it to your team?
I'll go. My team absolutely loved it because it just so happened to be at the same point of where a lot of my leaders were struggling with the overflow of buckets and how they couldn't manage time wisely. And I had two amazing leaders that have been struggling with the spousal support. And so the second I shared that, like a light bulb went off in their head and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And so, like they all made a dedication to put their phones away when it's family time and just focus on the business when it's business time and things like that. And it's serious. I talked to them last Monday night on our team Zoom about it. And everyone it's funny because I always see like people like posting about like their buckets or like, oh no, something spilled into my bucket tonight or whatever. And but I think that was a huge help and it simplified things so easy.
It really does. It's so easy to do and it's so easy not to do. And so once you focus on it, Zoom focus, and you master it, honestly, you and your coaches and your spouses and your loved ones and everybody will absolutely be so thankful for it. So thank you, Vicki. That's awesome. Anybody else kind of take it to themselves or to the team? Anybody? Crickets. Okay. So if you haven't done that yet, I promise you, if it's one thing that you're fearing, you're basically just have fear towards, I promise you, once you implement time management into your schedule right now and master it, you will continue to progress as a coach. The one thing that if you don't, Beachbody will take over your life and it will suck everything dry out of your children, your spouse, and nobody will be supportive of you and what your big vision is. So I promise you, it is by far the most critical thing that you need to master now in order to progress and really to grow as a coach. So if you missed it, please go back and rewatch it from here forward. And I may not post anything more about the calls because with only 4 of us on here, 5 including myself, you need to show up to have this valuable content because I promise you, when you guys work together and you're at the same rank, you will progress and grow together and you will get so much more when you're in this call on it, not listening to a recording. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and actually let you, Vicki, go ahead and lead the show on this topic, which is so exciting. So Vicki is a 4-star diamond who is just an amazing, amazing coach. And I say that because she is by far, this topic is incredible for her because she is so authentic and she attracts coaches that are very similar to her. But more importantly is you do everything with an act of service. I know with you, your emotions and how you feel is written on your sleeve, and I absolutely love that, because we know exactly how you act and how you feel. And it comes off so great, especially to your coaches and also to me. So I love that. So your topic today is obviously building your brand and being authentic. So if you want to take it away, please do.
Okay. So I think this is a really important topic, no matter if it's for your leaders in your team or brand new coaches. Because there are so many times in this business where we feel like what we're doing right now is not working. And so we need to try to be like someone else, especially when we start developing our own leaders and we're like, oh, well, my leaders aren't moving fast enough. So I'm going to start being like this person. But in the end, you end up losing yourself and losing who you are. And then your team kind of starts fizzling or starts falling out. So I think it's very important to establish your brand and to continue to be yourself, continue to grow who you are, both on the inside and outside, but always remember to be yourself. And so I bring this up probably twice a month, just so it's a great reminder with my entire team, whether they're diamond coaches or brand new coaches or emerald coaches, about being yourself and not being afraid to be vulnerable. I mean, all of us 4-star diamonds know what it's like to be vulnerable. It could be sharing your very first before and after photos or sharing tidbits about your story that's deep down inside. And those things are very scary, but those things are the things that attract people to you. So first off, when I talk about your brand with my coaches, I used to do the top 10 things that make you you, that make you not like anybody else. But I don't do the top 10 things anymore. How I do it is I separate them into different categories. I make my coaches number 1 through 5 and name the non-negotiables about them in their life. What are things they absolutely cannot live without? You know, this is going to be things like your children, or your health and fitness, or your personal development, religion, spouses, anything that you legitimately cannot go on without having this in your life. Basically, your top priorities. And then I have them number 1 to 3. And these are your biggest struggles that you've had in your journey. And this could be your financial journey. This could be your physical journey, your emotional journey. But the things that you've struggled with the most, maybe you're still struggling with them. Maybe you struggled before and overcame the struggle. And then last, number 1 and 2. And these are the things that can guarantee make you happy. The things that you can do when you're in the worst of moods, when you're hangry, when you're sad, whatever it is, you can go, and these are the things that are going to pick you up. Whether it's dancing or listening to music or shopping or, you know.
A glass of wine.
A glass of wine. Yeah. A bubble bath. But all of these things, so this is like my 10 things broken down. You got your 5 non-negotiables, you got your 3 struggles, and you got the 2 things that make you the happiest. And none of these things can be the same. So technically, they're your 1 through 10. But when you look at these things and you talk about these things on a daily basis, you're building your brand. You're showing who you are, and you're being unapologetic about it. This is creating your ideal customer and your ideal coach. When you have coaches on your team that you can relate to and could relate to you, chances of them being successful and being able to help, for you being able to help them more, is increased from what I have found. If you look at my team, I have a team of huggers, a team of criers, and we're all crazy. Like, I'm not kidding. You look at all of my coaches, especially the ones that, you know, are diamond and above, or coaches that have been around for 2+ years, they're all the same. And it's so funny because when I talk about my brand, I start telling, you know, who do you think you are and the things about yourself. And they start saying, oh, well, Vicki hooked me because when she cries, I cry. And, you know, when she laughs, I laugh. And like your team turns into, like, it's a morph, like you're a family. And so when you talk about your brand and when you talk about things, people that are relating with your struggles, or they relate with your non-negotiables, or they relate with the things that make you happy, they connect with you, and then that makes them want to join you. And when they join you, that makes them want to stick with you. And so this is why it's good for brand new coaches or diamond coaches. Now, one of my favorite things to talk about with my coaches is when you post on social media and you're posting about your brand, like, you always want to keep your brand and your authentic self in every single post, no matter what it is. But post what you need and you want to hear, because that's what your audience wants to hear, because your audience is going to be like you. Don't try to think, I get so many of my coaches like, I don't know what to post today. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they need. And chances are, those people, those lifer followers, those lifers that are connecting with you want to hear whatever you're feeling in that moment. So post not what you think they want to hear, but what you want to hear or what you need to hear. Be authentic. Authentic means genuine. Be real with your faults, with your struggles, and most of all, with your small successes. The small successes make people relate more than the big successes. Like, you know, like, I've lost 130 pounds, but when I talk about losing 5 pounds here and there, people will gravitate more towards that because they don't see it as the big picture. Like, oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. And how am I going to do that? And that took you 5 years to do. And I don't have 5 years. But when you share the small successes, or even like a $50 paycheck or a $100 paycheck, you know, those things are more relatable to the new followers or the new coaches on your team. Yeah, people can relate to you more when you're sharing small successes more often than the large successes. And like I said at the beginning, being vulnerable is very hard. We all have different struggles in our lives, and some of us have opened up more than others about them. But when you start opening up about being vulnerable and sharing those things that held you back for so long, your coaches will start doing the same thing, because they'll see you as, they already see you as your mentor and as their leader, but they will see if you can be open up about something so deep that they can too. And that's how they will really attract those genuine lifers or people that want to join them on their journey. I didn't know how long you wanted me to talk, and I could talk about this for literally like 3 hours. So I just like put all my best tidbits in one little.
Hey, you're good. You can talk for another like 5 to 10 minutes, and then question and answer, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I have a 21-day new coach training group that all my new coaches go in, whether they're, thank you, Alexa, whether they're a discount coach or a regular coach, because I say, chances are if you're signing up as a discount, you're going to be a walking billboard. So you might as well go through the training so you know what to do. Not everybody does it. I'll be honest. Not everyone does it, but I throw them in there anyway. But one of the days I really focus on is branding. And I talk about not being afraid to show your true self. And, being different is great in this business, because anyone could sign up with any coach. Anyone could buy a Beachbody program through Craigslist or eBay or Amazon. We hate it, right? We hate it. But the way that they're going to want to sign up with us and the way that they're going to want to work with us is when we're true, when we're real. I cannot tell you guys. Okay, so I have to tell you a little story. About a year ago, I was going through a divorce, and before then, I was like body beast and eating like 100 egg whites a day and, sharing like all my food on social media, right? And I was going through a divorce, and my biggest problem in my entire life has been an emotional eater. I eat my feelings. So one night going through my divorce, I posted a box of Domino's pizza and an angry orchard. And I said, that's right, I'm having a rough day. I'm eating my feelings, but tomorrow I'm going to kick ass again. Sorry, my language. But I had like 400 likes on this photo. Before then, I've never had like more than 100 likes. And all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my God, you're not a robot. Oh my gosh, you're actually human. And people started like gravitating more because they see like, I didn't just eat celery sticks every day. I didn't just work out every day. Like, I'm human. I do dive into a box of Domino's. And when you share things like that you don't think that people are actually going to like, that's when they gravitate more towards you. That's when they see that you're actually human and see that what you do, they can do too. Because I think a lot of the times, when I signed up as a coach, the word Beachbody was very intimidating to me. I felt like I didn't fit the picture by any means. I was still overweight. I was over 200 pounds. To me, it was like, you had to be this, Lindsay Matway. Let's be honest. You had to be Lindsay Matway. I was far from Lindsay Matway. And when I started listening to all these top 10 coaches at the time and all these stories, and I noticed like all of them talked about like their biggest struggles, and they weren't afraid of sharing who they were, their past stories and stuff. And I connected with them, and I was like, wow, we have different journeys. We have different stories. But the fact that you're sharing this and you're like way tippity tip top over here, like, that's great, because one of the things that I'm able to do is be vulnerable in myself. I'm a super emotional person. I'm able to pour it all out there. I leave Facebook like it's my diary, and I'm like, oh, well, today I ate my feelings, or today I half-assed my workout, or whatever. But when you're doing that and your coaches see you do that and they could do it too, it helps them build that genuine following. And when they keep that following around, they turn into coaches because they see this change in them, and they see that they grow, and they see that they have struggles just like them. And if they can do it, they can do it too, because it's not like they're just putting their 6-pack abs up on the screen and then every day just eating celery, or, they're sharing their journey while being them, showing their truth, their faults, everything. So that's that.
I love it. And I will honestly say, even on my personal Facebook, so if you don't know us, Beachbody people. We do have a personal, we do have a work, because if not, I could never step away. But honestly, it comes down to being authentically you. And I think Facebook, well, it absolutely is true. Everything portrays on Facebook that is absolutely perfect. Your life is perfect. And, same thing with you, Vicki. I went through a divorce and everybody was so shocked. They're like, but you guys were perfect. And I was like, no, we weren't. We were the furthest from perfect. And I remember doing a post, and I didn't announce that I was getting divorced. I didn't announce that I moved across the U.S. I didn't announce any of that. But I did do just a post and just said, you know what? Sometimes Facebook portrays that everything can be perfect, but it's not. And I'm not going to portray everything that is okay. Obviously, I'm in a learning experience. And the amount of comments, I probably got like over 200 likes, which on a personal Facebook was pretty good, but I got like 60 comments that were like, you know what, girl, totally get it. I'm there with you. And it was for one chance. People no longer saw me trying to be perfect and get my workouts in and do everything like that. And people were able to relate. The amount of messages I got and phone calls like, hey, Brittany, I didn't know you were going through this, because I'm not going to portray it.
Right.
Yeah, but honestly, you will attract people and you will help people to live a story that they're also hiding. And they will gravitate, just like I've never really thought about it. But if you're wondering, if you're trying to get your coaches to be vulnerable and put their story out there, you have to do it. They will follow your lead. Right. So I love that. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, great topic. Okay, what questions, insights, comments? I don't want to say concerns because there's no concerns, but how do you guys want to add to this?
Can I unmute myself?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I loved that breaking down the 5, 3, 2 thing. I love that. I've never thought to do something like that with the 5 non-negotiables and the 3 struggles and the 2. Like, I love it. It's just such a good way for them to be able, because I feel like this is something that my coaches struggle with. They're like, I don't know what my brand is. And I'm like, I think sometimes they overthink it. So like doing something like this, it really helps like cultivate their brand in a way that's kind of like easier to understand, I think. I love that. I just wanted to share that. I'm going to definitely start using that with my coaches for sure. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it. She freezes like every second, but we understood you, girlfriend. You're good. No, you're absolutely right. If you start asking your coaches that right now, because then you'll be able to help them to get more vulnerable and to dig deeper, and you'll know what their non-negotiables and how to connect with them. So I love that. Awesome.
And like Alexa said, it helps them, especially when they're like, I'm at a blank. I can't think of anything that I'm different. And that really helps them be detailed about it and break things down easier. So it's more beneficial for your new coaches that have no idea.
Absolutely. Marsha, Carly, do you have anything you want to add or questions, comments?
I missed the 532. So can you post it? Because now I'm really curious.
Yeah, I will post it.
Perfect. Thank you. Because I think I noticed I have new coaches, like if I give them suggestions, they'll actually post that. But yeah, they struggle. They struggle with putting it out there. It's a tough one.
I think if you also remind them, it's, just go back and say, hey, you know what? Do you remember when you posted your before pictures? It's just like that. You know what I mean? So, hey, if you're not muted, sorry, Carly's saying it's super loud. If you guys aren't muted and you're not talking, do mute yourself, please. Perfect. But it's kind of like, posting your before pictures or your after pictures. It's so scary at first. But once you do one, you're like, oh, I got this, and you become more authentic and true. And yeah, it just takes that one.
One of my coaches actually said, like, if any of you guys have brand new coaches that are afraid to share a before and after because of they're so terrified or ashamed of their before photo, it's like freeing. It's taking responsibility of where you were. And once you put that out in public, it's like, this is free. I'm letting it go. And I'm showing that it's never going to happen like that again.
So true. So true. Anything else? That was like the world's quickest call, but it was awesome.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Sharon. I'm sorry. I could not get my mic to work. I had a quick question. Vicki, that was awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm curious, like, how do you run ads on your page, or like how often do you post?
So I'm a full-time Beachbody coach. I work 4 to 6 hours a day, and I will literally post all day. Like, I am not afraid of posting on social media. I feel like that's when I have the best traffic coming through my page, is when I continually post. But I do not run ads per post. Sometimes I will add or run ads for my page for likes, because I feel like if they like my page, they're going to the ones that genuinely like me and relate to me will stick around. I don't want to run an ad for something like a challenge group or something that people aren't really going to know who I am before they want to sign up with me. And so I try to steer clear away from that, but.
Great. I couldn't agree more, because you want to attract what you want to attract.
Right.
But I guess I'm thinking like boosting posts like that would talk to your target audience or something. I'm still trying to figure it all out. My page is pretty new. I had an old page and I'm trying to restart it. So I was just curious.
Well, one thing that I have been doing recently is, like, once a month I'll boost a post of, like, you know, a weight loss tip or how to get in your water tip or something that I've struggled with before. I'll post a tip or a recipe or something that could be beneficial to more people. And then that way when they see it, they could come over to my page. But I don't personally post like challenge group posts or coaching opportunity posts.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Can I ask, on top of Sharon's, like pages, I've had one, I had a lot of play on it and now not so much play on it. So trying to figure all that out, do you tend to post more on your personal page or more on your like page?
Everything that I do, well, okay. So I post on my personal page when it comes to personal stuff. But that's business stuff too. Like today I posted about, like, I'm going to get on a call with corporate and other 4-stars, and I get to go to the post office and send a gift to one of my leaders on my page. But when it comes to my fitness page, I'll post anything that's health and fitness related, business related, struggles. Like, I literally use my like page as a diary for everything that I'm doing throughout the day. I found out that coaching has helped me stay accountable to my own health and fitness goals. So if I'm not gonna post it, I'm not gonna do it. Like, basically, if I'm not going to eat it, I'm not going to post it, you know, or if I'm not going to post it, I'm not going to eat it, kind of thing.
Well, I love this.
Oh.
That's Vicki right there. She has no shame. She is singing.
Yeah. One of my 2 things that make me happy is lip singing like a boss, okay?
I love it. No shame. No, none. I love it. But more importantly is then you can teach your team and your coaches to do this same exact thing, and they start being authentic, and they stop, because so many times we try and fake it till we make it. And I get that, you know, there's certain areas that, of course, you know, when you're talking about the bigger picture, yes. But if you can be authentically you and connect with people like you, you will connect and gravitate to people just like you. And then you'll be able to learn and motivate them. Right? Because they're similar to you. I just actually got off of our 5-star diamond call, and it was all about the color codes. And it's crazy because there's so many coaches that actually attract polar opposite of them. So it makes me then think, what are they? Alexa's like, yep, that's me. So then it's like, what are you posting? What are you advertising? What are you putting out there? Because then what's hard is trying to motivate that opposite person. Alexa's like, amen, sister. It's so true. It's so much easier when they're like you. Like, I know I'm a numbers person. I'm very red. I'm very direct and to the point, and I can connect with somebody else because they're like, yeah, I love numbers. But maybe a blue or a white is like, no, it doesn't really work for me. Then I have to direct how I really speak and talk. You know, so if you be authentic and if you be you, you will attract you, and it'll be easier to grow your empire of what you're doing. Whew. Preach, right? Preach. Whew. Okay, I'm off that box. Anyways, anything else you want to add on to this?
Yeah, tell your coaches and you guys too, don't be afraid of being weird. Like, be yourself. If that's who you are, do not hide it. I'm telling you.
I'm writing that one down right now. Do not be afraid to be weird. I hope you guys took great notes, because that was an awesome call. And it was quick and it was to the point. But that's what I love about you, because you're quick and you're to the point, and that's just how it is.
Straight shooter.
Great shooter. Love it. Okay. So I'm obviously going to, let's post that in our 4-Star Diamond group. Just to let you guys, like I said, I'm no longer going to post these calls because I need your guys' involvement. The worst thing that I would have to do is to not have these calls and then wait for you guys to get the 5-Star Diamond calls, or 5-Star Diamond, and then continue the calls, because my 5-Star Diamond group is like active in there, on the calls, involved, and that's what I want you guys to be, is just a community of 4-Star Diamonds, and you guys advance together. So please rally up all your 4-Star Diamonds and get them involved, because you can't miss these topics. This is amazing. So thank you, Vicki. That was great.
You're welcome.
Woohoo! So I'll go ahead and post it more, but I want you guys to be authentic. I want you guys to eat that frog. I want you to step out of your comfort zone and post something so vulnerable and just put yourself out there and see what happens. It'll be really crazy cool. Okay? Thank you. Have a great day, ladies, okay?
Bye, guys.
See ya.